And welcome back to Late Night Love, where
Hey,
we're a little late.
we're a little late.
We're 12 hours, 13 hours late. Hey, but I got a good excuse, so it's not my fault.
Yeah, we got a story.
Well, to say it's not my fault isn't exactly correct.
What do you mean, isn't exactly?
well,
It's not even close.
well, I fractured my own knee. Somehow it's not my fault.
It's definitely your fault.
Yeah, see, so there we go. Now it is my fault, let's be honest.
Uh-huh.
And now you're dark. Anyway.
And it's a good thing you didn't hit your head because you weren't wearing a helmet.
Yeah. But we all right. We all survived. I spent all things getting cleared up for me, and then it messed you up. All right. There we go. We're just going to go with that. And
Let's do that.
We're just going to leave that be.
Okay.
Anyway, welcome back to Late Night Love. I'm Jazz. She's Levy. And some nights the world feels heavy in a way you can't quite name. You're doing your best at work and love, the quiet corners of your relationships, but the load keeps shifting, and suddenly you're carrying more than you meant to. Tonight, we're talking about those moments when life hands you the extra shift, the emotional labor, the silence, the uncertainty, and you're left wondering how much of yourself you're supposed to give. This episode is about boundaries, braveries, and the strange tenderness of wanting things to get better for you, for the people you love, and for the life you're trying to build. So settle in, take a breath. You're in good company tonight. Isn't that truth? No one was, talk about extra shifts, having to pull on extra shifts. Poor Lubby. Hey, Lubby, I'm thirsty. I can't carry my own water around the house, right? Literally, I can't.
You can't carry a glass. You can't carry a soda bottle. And you can put it in your mouth, but that is just not okay. I need to get you a little pouch or something.
Like a bandolier,
Yeah.
Velcro stuff to me, so I can walk around go around. Because our house isn't big; it's too narrow for the wheelchair to work. It works out here in the studio, but the house is too narrow, so I'm around.
Do you want to tell them why?
Why what?
Oh, you told them why. You had an incident.
Yeah, I fractured my knee
on a scooter.
Yeah, I didn't say that part. I wasn't
on an electric scooter.
I wasn't gonna go until the
He
gory
thinks he's
details.
20. Now, somebody told me we all do, but
Yeah, well, we won't talk about you the other day yelling at people driving by like you're some spring chicken.
Well, he littered. He threw garbage out the window, and I just raised my hands. And this young man in a truck, he stopped. What? And I said, you littered. I said, you threw garbage out your window. He said, so what? I said, that's littering. And he drove away, and he said something which is probably better that I didn't hear. So,
Just so we're saying.
So if I'm ever found, with a bullet in me on the side of the road, it's because I got mouthy.
Yeah. So just so we're pointing out. Anyway, so there's all of that. There's our.
Yeah, but you wouldn't find me on a scooter.
There's all our trauma for the last week or so. Yeah, but we also reminded why you don't drive, because you driving me around the hospital kept crashing into walls or crashing me into walls.
Well, you kept sticking your leg way out there. I couldn't see it.
And like I'm sticking my leg way out there on purpose, like I was there because I can't move my leg. And
I was doing my best, man. I'm sorry. I said I was sorry.
So anyway, it was our, there's weeks like that, right? Some weeks, and you just have to. We talked about, extra shifts and the burdens you have to bury that you didn't mean to. And well, now I've got to carry around a freaking bad leg for the next 12 weeks. So, and all the extra stuff that comes with that or surrounds that. So, such as it is. And my transmission on the car being goofy. So there's all of that going at the same time. So, sometimes life just
It's just one thing after another.
Yeah, and then it'll quiet down for a while to let you get settled in. Oh, sweet, life settled in, and then it throws you another sucker punch or three. Comes in threes.
That's why when things are boring, I do not go looking for excitement because I know it's coming. Excitement.
Excitement.
Quote unquote.
Last thing we need is excitement.
Excitement. Thank you.
I need everything but excitement. Anyway, speaking of excitement, you can find us at latenightLove.us. You can send your questions, comments, suggestions, etc. to love@latenightLove.us and do the like, subscribe, share thing for us. Excuse me, greatly appreciate it. It's gonna be a long afternoon. I was gonna say a long night, but it's 1:30 in the morning in the afternoon.
In the afternoon. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. In our live segment tonight, we're looking at the quiet exhaustion so many people carry. The friend who wonders what friendship really means, the worker who keeps getting tasks that aren't theirs, the manager who postpones every one-on-one, the 4 a.m. shift that rearranges your entire nervous system, and the person stuck working 14 hours because someone else didn't show up. These aren't just workplace frustrations. They are questions about dignity, boundaries, and how much of yourself you're expected to sacrifice just to keep things running. All right. So as we get started on that, I'm going to remind you that you can find us at latenightLove.us. Send us your questions, comments, suggestions to love@latenightLove.us and do us the favor and hit the like, subscribe, share, all that good fun stuff that people like to do. Okay, what are we starting with tonight?
Well, here is just something, just light to start us off with. What
Light.
does friendship genuinely mean to you? The first thing that comes to mind is just caring. As long as someone's caring, everything after that to me is negotiable. Are they kind?
Well, I think if a friendship is simply someone you can spend time around and have a good time with, and someone who'll help you out when during those times and you need a ride, and the little things in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what friendship is. Let's not put more on friendship. Well, sure, people you can hang out with. Generally, you hang out if you hang out around kind people, your friends are going to be kind, compassionate people. But that's a self-selective group. But it's the friendship are those people who you can be yourself around and not feel judged. Essentially, the people who will help you in your time of need, not necessarily the big, huge things, but will be there for you in your times of need, the routine times of need. Hey, I need a ride home from the mechanic, and they'll come pick you up, right? Yeah. You got drunk and can't remember where you parked your car. There's one who will come and take you home, right? It's good you can't remember where you parked your car. I'll come get you. Those are the well, how am I going to find it? We'll find it tomorrow, man. It'll be all right. Those are the friends. So it's don't overthink, general friendship. It just is what it is. It's one of those things, you know it when you see it.
I think different. I've noticed my friends have different needs. Some of them need more intense time more often. Some of them are like, fine, coffee every other week, and we do a catch up, and that's it. It all depends. It looks different with each person.
Well, I don't know, but people who are going to be my friend, you have to end up, it might be 2 years before I talk to you again. So it's nothing personal, just how my life seems to work. So it's one of those things. Yeah. So it's different for everybody, right? At a certain stage, but don't overthink friendships is my suggestion on that one. Just accept them for what they are, or not. And don't forget, accept them for what each friendship for what it isn't as well. You know, we talked
Yeah.
about not all friendships are the same.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, accept it for what it isn't. Don't be disappointed when a friendship that isn't something isn't that something. It's not what it's meant to do.
It's not, yeah. Some people have different capacities
Yeah,
for
your
what
hunting
they
and
can do.
your hunting and camping friends are different than your D&D friends, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Doesn't mean one's more loyal or less. It's just they're different, and so
Mhm.
it is what it is. All right.
How do you deal with being given tasks that are not yours?
Well, you're talking to someone whose job description is and. So I tasks are just tasks. I'm paid to do tasks. I don't really look at I don't look at my job description and say, this is not in my job description. I just can't live like that. It's a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you repeatedly abuse my thing, then I'm going to go work somewhere else, and that's just how that works. But I'll pinch it if need be for a time being. Someone's sick or they're not doing very well for a period of time. Someone's got depression and they're not getting all their work done, and they need someone to help them out every now and again. Yeah, I'll chip in. I'm not give a crap if it's not on my task list. Yeah, so what? I'm better than everybody else. I'm generally done in time. I've got time to spare, so give me something to do. Or are you going to pay me for all my time and go so I can go home early because all my tasks are done? That doesn't happen, right? You can go home early, sure, but you're going to lose money because you're generally speaking these days, for whatever stupid reason, we're paid by the hour, and paid by the hour only helps the slow. So when you're the fast person and thing, paid by the hour does not help you. I'm just saying. So some of us are resentful a little. And we should slow down. I'm not slowing down because you can't keep up, right? Just pay me more, so let me go home early. Or give me more to do and earn a little bit more money, which is generally what happens. Yes, I do more, but I also earn more. And you guys can shut up because you can't keep up. But that's why I'm not a union member. So
Doesn't work for you, eh?
doesn't work for me.
Mm.
All right. But
Now, what happened with me several times is first it started out, oh, just temporary. Then it became a permanent thing. Oh, you do it so well, you know. And then the next thing you know, more and more of these things happen, and then I'm burnt out.
yes, but see what happens is if that happens, then I get a position change and a pay increase, or I go somewhere else.
Mm.
So this is where you have to have the confidence in yourself to be willing to go somewhere else and have your boss know that, and then they don't take advantage of you. You take advantage of those people who they know won't go anywhere else, won't take their talents, their new skills, and these things you've just taught them. Hey, I now have skills. I've now learned skills that make me more valuable out there. I'm going out there. I'm going to leave. I have as much loyalty to you as you do to me, which we both know is none. So, right? The amount of BS I'm willing to put up with is in direct proportion to the size of my paycheck. So that either changes or I'm changing where I work. Now, again, there's caveats to that. If it's the only employer in town, you have less power than you do if you live in a major metropolitan area and you've got lots of options and you've got a big network. This also, considers that you have a networking thing. You have places to go. But the reality of most of us have places to go. Your best pay increases are going to come from changing companies, not changing positions.
Okay.
So if you really want to move your career along, it's oddly enough, these days, it's changing companies every 3 or 4 years. That's not job hopping, that's career advancement because you're moving up every single time. Because you're essentially doing it the new job, stuff you were doing at the old job that they weren't paying you for. Now you've got that new title and the new pay and at the new place. You are not a victim. Take charge of
That's a lot of change for some people.
I get it. And some people just want to go up, do their job, and go home. And sometimes, well, that means you have to be invisible. And sometimes, if you want to be invisible, it means you've got to do some tasks that aren't yours. Otherwise, you start becoming visible.
Okay.
You don't want to be talked about, right? That's the whole point. If you just want to go in, do your job, and go home, you don't want to be talked about at all, which means you do a little bit of it. Sure, just enough of a team player that you don't get noticed. And how do you push back on it? Because you don't get it completed because you don't have the time. See, but if they're able to push tasks that aren't yours onto you, it means you have time.
Ooh.
Right? It means you do. And having spare time is not good in this economy because it means you're the one they can cut. Everybody else is busy and you've got spare time. So, but also find out why. Oftentimes it's someone's sick, someone's out with an injury or something, and everybody's got to chip in a little bit. It's just part of work. Okay.
Manager makes me work 14 hours if third shift doesn't show up, rather than letting me close and go home. Could use some advice.
Well, that's a nice paycheck. I'm assuming this is a cafe or some 24-hour
Yeah.
thing. They likely can't, right? Especially if it's a franchise, they can't close and let you go home. The thing has to be open. Now, here's the thing. It's their responsibility to hire people who will show up. So this is the very difficult one because that is a lot of extra cash. But I also get it. That happens routinely. It's a bigger issue. Or if you've got other plans, So your manager's going to have to come up with better options. He's going to have to find someone on call, which oddly enough might not be legal in some states, which makes it's actually what creates this problem because like states like New York, you have to have schedule. You have to have schedule it like 2 weeks in advance and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what happens if someone calls in sick in the last minute and you can't have anybody on call as an on-call person?
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No. And you ends up with things like this because there's no one to call. This is one of these things where at some point they're going to have services like Uber for kitchen hands, and people are going to be able to come in, and they might have a limited menu. Right? You might not be able to run the full menu, but they can cook hamburgers and eggs and things like that. Basic fry cooks just come in and it's like an Uber thing for this exact reason. So I feel for him, but I don't find a better job is ultimately your best answer.
Yeah, you really is what you're going to have to do. And make that when they ask you, what are your expectations at your new job? Let me go home. Just let me go home.
Yeah, the expectation is I'm not covering for a third shift. I've already been there.
Yeah,
I've already been there 8 hours. I've already worked my 8 hours. I get it. Someone's running late. I have to do an extra half hour. It happens in service industries. It just does.
sure.
But if it's routine, that becomes a management problem, not mine. Here and there. All right, it's a team problem. If this is routine, it's a management problem and it needs to be solved. But again, self-reliance. You've got skills. Obviously, if you can make that place for 14 hours. Do we know what place it was? Is it like
it was like a burger joint.
Yeah, they probably can't close is the problem. And he's probably the only person who can like use the fryer or something, right? He's only
something strange.
Some strange thing. You're the only person qualified to use the dangerous equipment, which of course is what you actually need during that shift, the overnight shift, and your board half the shift and you're slammed the other half, right? Because that's how the overnight shifts go. There's never just a nice, easy trickle. It's
No.
it's never a nice, easy trickle. It's either dead bored or chaotically packed. That's how it goes. So, advice: you can't fix bad management, but you can fix where you work.
Can. There you
How's
go.
that?
Yeah.
Sadly,
Yeah.
I wish there was something more you can do, but low man on the totem pole has no power. Yeah, other than cashing a nice check. But trust me, they'd rather have the other person come to work than pay you all that overtime. So I suppose you could just leave and make your manager come in open. That is the other option. You can't say I'm leaving whether you like it or not. You just and then it becomes technically speaking, that is the manager's job. You can say no, and it is the manager's job to make sure that thing is filled, which means it's his job to go show up and run the store. Theoretically, that's what he's paid the moderately bigger bucks than you get.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yes, we get to pay the big bucks for. Let's be honest, managers of fast food joints don't get paid a lot. So, okay, what's next?
How do I support my husband's dreams after 5 years of rejection? He wants to be a screenwriter.
Okay, what's the 5 years of rejection?
He's been trying to get a job as a screenwriter for 5 years.
Okay, he needs to think differently. You're not gonna just by sending in your screen. I've got a tip for you. Here's a tip: go find in all your things Mum and Dean Screenwriters podcast. They talk over this kind of stuff. But if you actually want to start writing scripts that can be produced locally for volunteers. There's local scripting competitions. There's local film writing competitions. Send your stuff in. Engage with your local film community first. Get feedback from them. Start small, 10-minute scripts, 10-minute films.
Can he do this as a hobby?
That's what most people do until one of their scripts hits something. Because you still have to eat. And
yeah, she wants not to be she wants him to contribute financially to the food bill.
Well, there's other ways to do that using his theoretical writing skills. It doesn't have to just be through script writing. There's lots of writing things that you can. There's Substack. You can start making Substack stories and submit them on Substack, and people make a living over there. So there are ways for him to turn his writing ability into income. Instead of stop focusing on a movie script or a TV series script or whatever it is he's thinking about.
Okay, here now we're talking.
Get into advertising scripts, get into writing scripts for YouTube channels. There's all kinds of things that you can do while you're working on getting your dream script published.
Okay. But he wants to go to Hollywood.
Yeah, so does everybody in there. But you know how you get to Hollywood? By not stop trying and just creating things.
Mm.
That Greta, the lady who wrote the Barbie movie, right? She's here from local here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And she didn't get to Hollywood by trying to get to Hollywood. She got to Hollywood by getting out, networking with people, and creating stuff. And someone from Hollywood said, "Hey, this is interesting. Let's give her a shot at this," because they were able to see that she had done a bunch of other stuff, even though it wasn't mainstream, right? But it was still created. It was still there.
She had a body of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That people could judge by, that this was more than just some flight of fancy one-off.
Yeah.
So the best way to break into the business is to volunteer. But if you need to earn some money, use those script writing. Lots of YouTube channels need script writers. So, and you can work for YouTube channels anywhere, and they can be anywhere, right? So you need script writing. There's a place to start.
Perfect.
Okay.
4 a.m. shift. How Is it?
Depends on your personal temperament. If you
It
are
really is.
if you're a night owl, it's fine. It's kind
Yeah.
of fits your thing. If you're a morning person, I don't know, it might work. It's a little early, but you
It's a
can.
little early.
But that's just a few hours adjustment. You might be able to make it if you.
But if you wake up at noon,
Yeah, if you're someone who struggles in the mornings, then that's going to be a problem.
yeah.
If you're someone who goes to bed relatively early and yeah, so if you have a normal circadian rhythm, that's going to be tough. Not necessarily terrible, because if you get up at 6 a.m., you're getting up at 3:30. That's an adjustable thing. But if you're someone who gets up at naturally at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, that's going to be tough because it doesn't fit any part of your natural rhythm. There's no easy adjustment. If you're someone like me or my daughter, you could adjust it one way or the other relatively easy, right? So it really depends.
It would be a stretch for me.
On your.
I wouldn't make it through the shift.
So, well, it's what, 4 a.m. to noon, 12:30.
No, I might make it.
Yeah. So, anyway,
How do you take it when your manager postpones your one-on-one call every time?
well, are you sure it's every time, or does it just feel like every time?
It's every time.
And why do you care so much? Is there actually something you need to get dealt with that's getting postponed, or is this just one of those routine check-ins that don't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things? Do you want your head patted and say, "Nice job, good boy, good boy, go on about your day"? Is that what you're looking for?
Apparently.
Some people need that more than others. So I don't want to. Probably shouldn't be so dismissive of that. Some people need that.
Uh-huh.
I am not one of them, right? So, yeah, cancel the one-on-one. Great. Unless I had something I needed dealt with, I have no problem with them canceling the one-on-one. For me, canceling one, I mean, it's good. There's nothing to deal with. There's no trouble brewing. It's sweet. Right? No news is good news. I just keep keeping on. That's
Yeah.
Check-in is like going to the principal's office. I don't need to talk to the principal ever, even if I did something wrong. I know how to fix it. I don't need to talk to this moron. It's so. But again, talk about different needs. Different people have different needs. Some people need the pat on the back. They need the acknowledgement. They need to say to their boss to know what they've accomplished in the last week or something. It makes them feel more secure.
Yeah.
And so, in a sense, I get that, but it just means he doesn't feel the need to check in on you. Is really all that needs. Of all the things on his plate that he can move, he feels that you can be moved because he doesn't have to check in on you.
Because he knows you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's all right. But everything's fine. Yeah, maybe he's wrong, right?
Maybe you need to talk about something.
And if something is wrong, you say, "Hey, I appreciate the fact that you can postpone, but I really need to cover X, Y, and Z. Can we schedule some time?"
Yeah. Just be more straightforward.
And if there's nothing that really needs to be talked about, that really needs to be dealt with, and you just need a check-in by email. He'll appreciate the check-in. Hey, I know we canceled our meeting, but here, I just wanted to let you know, here's X, Y, and Z. This is what we've done. A, B, and C. Here's what we're going forward. And so essentially just bullet point whatever you wanted him to know.
Okay.
All right.
Is it okay not to talk to your boss and coworkers at work?
Well,
just to get,
not chit-chatting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfectly fine to not be chit-chatty with your boss and coworkers. There's no need to.
There's no need.
No. I mean, you might ask yourself why you don't feel the need to, chit-chat, but I know sometimes chit-chatting with your boss, I've got things to do, and and how do you disengage with your bosses being chatty about your personal life? you know, I'll just leave. I've got most. I've got work to do. I'm out of here. So, what you can complain that I'm going back to work? Right? Are they going to complain that you're going back to work? No, they're not going to complain that you're going back to work. So you've got to free out there. But ask yourself, what are they that bad of a people that you just don't want to talk to them, or you just an introvert and don't feel like having
introvert? But does she can force herself, to come up with a couple of different things if she has to.
Here's the thing. These are people at some point you're going to have to break ice with, right? You just are. So don't fight it so much. You don't necessarily have to go out of your way, but when the natural chances come up, stop fighting it, is my suggestion. Stop treating it like it's this big, huge thing when it's just, what do we call it? Water fountain conversation, completely meaningless.
It really is.
So, talk about the weather, talk about the grandkids or the children's, work, schoolwork, or keep it light and airy. And
about what you did that weekend, if you did any activities, what activities you like to do, hobbies, think you could talk about those kind of things. Just very neutral.
Yeah, stuff that takes three things to cover. Like weather takes 3 questions back and forth, and boom, conversation is done and move on.
And that's it. Really, it's nothing more. It's not a 20-minute conversation.
Yeah. So don't.
No way. You don't have time for that.
Don't make them into 20-minute conversation.
Yeah.
All right. If you're listening and feeling that familiar tug, that sense that you've been giving more than you get, I hope you hear this. Your time, your energy, and your peace matter. You are allowed to draw a line. You're allowed to expect fairness, and you are allowed to rest. From me and Levy, we want you to remember to have a good night. Please remember to love everybody.
Good night.
All right. Are we rolling in here soon? Or you doing your thing?
Yeah. Hold on. Okay.
All right. Let's go. And welcome back to Late Night Love. I'm Jazz, she's Lovey, and tonight's stories sit in that space between longing and confusion. A wandering eye that stirs insecurity. Ooh, did I grab the wrong ones?
No.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just all right. In tonight's love stories, sit in that space between longing and confusion, the wandering eye that stirs insecurity, a partner who disappears for days, a teen who seems to be hiding in the bathroom for hours, a college student trying to build a social life from scratch, a family vacation no one wants to go on, and the question of how to support a partner's dreams after years of rejection. Did we just do that?
We just did that.
Anyway, love isn't always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's the ache of wanting connection while navigating the messy human parts of the people we care about. I think somehow our questions got weird this week. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. What are we starting with?
Okay. Am I overreacting because of my girlfriend's wandering eye? They're both in their mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
And he confronts her. You're staring. and at that guy. Why are you looking at that guy? And she's just like, I am just looking at people. I have no attraction to him. I'm just sitting here.
You are going to be the cause of your own problems.
You are.
Yeah, you're gonna be the reason she's just gonna get tired of dealing with your stupidity, and she's gonna move on because you're just an annoyance, frankly. So here's the question: do your eyes never wander? Do you never look at the world around you? Do you ever see something that, for whatever reason, catches your attention, and you look at it closer just to see if you saw it correctly?
Yeah.
Hey, that person looks like someone I knew. Kind of, maybe, and you stare at them for 10 seconds because you can't quite decide. I don't think so, but man, that's a doppelganger if I ever seen one. And that takes 10, 15 seconds to process because it does. But here's the thing. They're mid-20s. By your mid-20s, you should be over this. At 20, okay, it's just part of being 20, right?
Yeah.
You're so insecure at that age that everything is a threat.
Right. Yeah.
But by your mid-20s, you should have learned that by now. So here's the answer to the question is yes, you're overreacting. Stop expecting humans to be something other than human. And anyway, you don't know that she's necessarily looking at the guy. She could be looking at what's past him. She could be looking at his haircut, trying to figure out what the hell someone's got a haircut like that.
It's innocent, dude. Really.
And even if
she may be he's tall.
Yeah.
He must have trouble buying clothes.
You never know.
This is the stuff we think about. What's she doing with him?
Or is he feeling a little guilty because when his eye wanders, yeah. So now he's projecting because, of course, we do. We project. Everybody thinks the same way we do. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But the question is, were you thinking of actually doing something about it, or were you just admiring the scenery? Because there is a difference. So anyway. So yes, you're overreacting. Grow up is my suggestion.
You are overreacting.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to boil this down for you, their gamer came out of the bedroom and said, I'd like to be more physically active, but I don't want to do organized sports.
Okay. So he does want to do rec league sports? Or does he want to do something that's individualized?
Yeah, individualized.
Like rock climbing, something like that.
Well, let's start with walking.
No, let's figure out what he's actually interested in.
Ooh, okay.
And get him started. Because you're going to start with walking and he's not interested in nature. Okay, right? Does he want to go hiking? Does he want to do rock climbing? There's lots of things. Rock climbing might be something because it's right, real physical.
Yeah.
It's an actual good physical workout. But maybe he's interested in working out. But he would have said he's interested in working out. My guess is he wants to do something physical. So go to the local rock climbing wall and start there. It's not an organized sport. There's no team. It's just you and the instructor in the wall. Because they're not going to let you up the wall without an instructor the first time. But you could say things like skiing and whatnot, but those are winter sports, and you can't do those in the summer. But I'd try rock climbing.
Okay, what are some things maybe with some friends?
Well, he doesn't want to do organized sports.
Okay,
and friends can get together and go to the rock climbing wall. Start with the rock climbing wall. That's going to be, I very rarely have a very clean start with the rock climbing. Go to the local rock climbing wall place and just start there. Okay. It's unique. And I'm not saying you go off to Half Dome and start, free scaling Half Dome. You go to the rock climbing wall place. They put a harness on you. You're not going to get hurt.
Are you sure?
It's as safe as they have to have insurance for all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
It can only be so dangerous.
That's true. Okay.
I'm not saying go off and go just start climbing rocks in nature. No, there's a rock climbing walls, there are instructors and harnesses and do all this stuff.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion. But oftentimes when they don't want organized sports, they don't want the competitive sports. It's not necessarily they don't want to play with a team. It's they don't want the competitiveness of it. Mm-hmm. And you can find those rec leagues and things like that where no one cares if they win or not. They're just out there having a good time.
I had an idea. Just if you want to just get outside and do something, what about like those medieval reenactment warriors or Civil War reenactment?
Yeah, but that's more team
Star
sport.
Wars.
Well, you could. They might like that kind of thing.
But it's acting.
Yeah, but they might. They're still dealing with people. They still have to play with the team.
Okay.
So you have to do something that's apparently completely individualized. You could do bowling. You could do golf. These kind of things.
Bowling. There we go. Golf. Cool.
There's those type of things, but
where
you're competing against yourself if you choose to.
Yes.
You don't even have to compete against yourself. You can just go out and whack the ball around. You don't have to care. You don't have to care how many pins you knock down. You just throw the ball at the pins. You don't have to give it. Yeah, you don't even have to compete against yourself. You're just throwing a pin against them, but you're just getting some exercise. But I suggest rock climbing to start with. Because it's unique enough that it might catch his interest, but it also kind of judge, okay, what kind of physical activity does he actually mean? It'll help him narrow it down, if nothing else.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
Okay.
All right. Oh, this poor parent. How is she still eating? They have a teenage girl who snacks all flipping day.
Yeah. Well, who's buying these snacks? They act like, I don't know why she's eating these snacks all day. Well, I do because you bought them. Stop buying them. Guess what? She can't eat what you don't got. I mean, if you're worried about it, now what's the problem? Is it her weight, or is it the fact that or is it just astonishment
it's astonishment?
Oh well, it just means that she's hitting a growth spurt and she can eat as many calories as she wants. Her body is going to consume them. That's all that happens when those teenagers are just able to plow calories down. They're just feeding a growth spurt, and so that's what's happening. Of course, the problem is that girls, they end that spurt sooner than boys do. Boys don't stop that growth spurt till 18, 19 sometimes even a little later. And girls finish that growth spurt, what, 13, 14? A little older if on the end. Girls don't grow much after 16, 17.
Yeah, we don't.
So the danger with a teen girl is that growth spurt thing that's eating all these calories that she's throwing away, gonna stop eating all those calories, and then then you have different issues. So here's my stop buying the snacks is my suggestion.
But I'm hungry.
Good. Have some toast. Some rice cakes.
Carrots.
You're not hungry, you're bored. Let's be honest. You're just lucky that you're a teenager and for now you can, there's no penalty to pay for that. But that ends real fast. Even for boys, when it ends, it ends. It's like you lose that ability to just munch all you want.
Oh, absolutely.
It ends like one day you can eat anything you want, not a problem. And the next day you're fat. It's literally. But I ate just the way I used to last week. Yeah, but guess what? You no longer have the body eating your calories for you. All right, what's next?
My boyfriend of a year and a half disappears sometimes. How do I advocate for my needs without feeling guilty? He disappears for days. He comes back like it's no big deal.
Well, they're your boyfriend, and this is how he is. What does he do? He goes off hiking or camping or something.
No, he just, oh, I lost my phone. My phone was turned off.
Yeah, he went and did something. Like gambling. Who knows what the heck off it was. Went and earned some illegal money and didn't want you to know. And who knows? There's something.
He's doing something.
Yeah.
So as far as advocating with your needs, he's probably not going to change.
Well, here's the thing. This is part of his needs. He has a need for whatever reason to cut off. Maybe he is just cutting off the world and going sitting on top of a mountain and needs to be by himself.
Okay, then he needs to express that.
Maybe he doesn't know he can yet. They've only been together for a year and a half. They're 23, 24, right?
It's been a year and a half.
So at their still 23 and 24, doesn't mean they know how to do this yet, but
this is where they learn.
Yeah. Well, this is also where you learn what you do and don't accept in relationships. So.
Oh, yeah. 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's 23.
Yeah, he's 23. She's 24. So this is still perfectly normal for a 23-year-old boy, especially now. 23-year-old men are relatively selfish these days. These young men are relatively selfish. They're not going to sacrifice if you're not. They're not going to sacrifice their time, their needs, if you're not willing to sacrifice your times and your needs. That's just, they took that equality stuff to heart. They now want what they're not going to give until they get until it. It's why all these young people have relationship issues, because no one wants to give until they get, until they have a proven track record of getting. Well, guess what? You're not going to get until you give, and you're not going to give until you get. And yeah, so they're stuck in a bunch of people where everybody wants their needs met, but they don't want to meet anybody else's.
So they're selfish.
Everybody is. Well, they've been taught to be victims. So if you feel you're a victim, then you have the moral authority to be selfish.
No.
Well, you do.
You have the moral authority to get yourself over it and move on.
Well, no, that's the practical. That's just practicality of you got to, right? Just how life has always been. But nowadays, that's not what people expect. They have this goofy expectation that the world caters to them because you're a victim. And it does, they're finding out that that's not how it works, because we're all victims. That's the problem with that theory, is the world needs to treat me different because I'm a victim. Well, guess what, sunshine? We're all victims.
We all are. We've all been through trauma.
There's literally not one of us alive. It was getting through this world without having, and if you do, more power to them. Quite frankly, I don't feel, I'm not going to be jealous of someone who happens to have a nice life who never has any real trauma in their lives.
No,
more the freak power to them. Let you be the freak.
I've heard about them, but I've never actually met one.
Well, I've met people who don't appear to have any trauma, but what happens is they've actually gone through traumatic stuff if they just coped with it and moved on, and they weren't traumatized by it.
Yes.
And so it's even the people who appear that they've had, a charmed life, their life hasn't been so charmed. They just, for whatever reason, temperament, circumstance, pure dumb luck, they had the skills, the thing to get through it without it causing long-term trauma. And now we celebrate trauma instead of getting past it. It becomes part of who we are.
Well, I do have things that are always going to be part of my story.
Sure, but that's different than making it part of your identity. Making your victimhood part of your identity is insanely dumb.
Okay. When I was deep in counseling and dealing with certain issues, I did.
Yes, and there's a stage when you're dealing with trauma where you kind of have to do that
Mhm.
because you can't face it until you make it that real. But you have to get past that. Part of that process, part of that thing is bringing it out, is so you can wear it, so you can put it away.
Yeah.
But if your goal isn't to ever put it away, this is
Oh, no. Why would you do that? You're the walking wounded.
I don't know, but they think it's like a suit of armor rather than a weight.
No, you're the walking wounded.
Yeah, that needs to get.
You got this big gaping hole gash.
No, you're eventually going to be able to take that off, hang it up in the closet, and it's always going to be in your closet.
Well, yeah.
But you do not have to carry it around with you all the time.
No.
You know?
Well, it doesn't fit anymore.
No, it's part of your past. You're never going to be able to. It is part of your history. Whatever traumas you have gone through, you are never going to get rid of them. It's not how it works.
Every once in a great while, I'll get triggered with some of my.
Sure, they're still in the closet.
But
Earthquake makes them rattle. Oh yeah. You go in there, you check the closet, make sure everything's still there. Count all of them. Yeah, all right, it's fine. Nothing escaped. And you go on about your life. That's gonna happen. You know, it's like those bones in your closet. Yeah, every now and again they rattle, but it doesn't mean they're not dealt with. It just means they're in there rattling every now and again.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Okay.
My son is spending 6 to 7 hours in the bathroom each day. He's 15.
That's excessive. Okay, here's the question, I suppose. Does he have privacy in any other? Is that the only space for privacy?
Yeah.
Then that's what he's getting. And it doesn't even necessarily the kind of privacy we were all thinking about. It's just, it might just be privacy. You know, alone time where he can sit there and play Candy Crush on his phone or whatever the hell it is. Right? It's not necessarily anything other than the house is driving him crazy and he needs some peace and quiet. Maybe he has some sensory issues and he needs more downtime than he can get the rest of the house. I don't know how crowded their house is. You know, is it a family of 3, mom, dad, and son?
I don't know.
Yeah, then you can probably find more alone time. But if he's got a house with brothers and sisters and siblings or extended family living there and all this, what he's found is he needs peace and quiet, and he can't find any. And so he finds it where he can. Now, here's the thing. It's spring and summer. He can go outside and he can start finding that peace and quiet other times. But here's what you do. You bring it up to him, not as a problem, but asking if there's another solution you can help him find. Hey, I get it. It's chaotic around here, and maybe you have a need for more peace and quiet than that can be provided. Is there anything else we can do? Because I'm guessing it's not what we all think it is. That's just way too long.
You know, maybe you can set up a little area for him in the garage, you know?
Yeah, or maybe he can, go make arrangements where he can go to the park or things. For whatever reason, he doesn't feel he can go somewhere. He feels he has to be home or something. So, find a different solution. It's probably not anything that we think it is. This is his way of decompressing and needing peace and quiet. And since the bathroom isn't the most conducive place for that, it's just the best place he's got. It takes far longer. I'm suppressing not 6 or 7 hours. My guess is it's a couple, but she's exaggerating the time. But it feels like 6 or 7. But Yeah. So just deal with the actual issue that he needs quiet time. Unless they're a family of 3, right? Then that might be it. There might be something different. Maybe he's got crabs and he's trying to pick them off manually. Hey man, there's things that come up, in life. 15's not unheard of. I'm just saying, it's most likely he just needs some peace and quiet, and he can't find any. Okay.
How can busy college student living at home make new friends? Dude, I made so many new friends at college. At college.
You study at the library. You join study groups. You go to the college bulletin board and see all the activities that are going on, the student groups and the whatnots and all that. And you go to a couple that are interesting. That's it.
Here's the deal. Now is the time in your life the time in your life where you just run into people. Hi, you want to be friends? High school. That's high school stuff where you just instantly just mesh. Now you have to put effort into relationships from now on.
The best way to this is called networking, and the best way to network is to volunteer for stuff. Because you're volunteering for something you're interested in. The people there who are also volunteering for stuff they're interested in. You have you find out that people have not competing skills, complementary skills, and then you work together as teams in lots of different areas. So find something you're interested in, spend a few hours volunteering. Giving of yourself to others.
Yeah. You'll make friends. You really will. Promise.
And people will then give to you because you have a history of giving to others.
Mm-hmm.
And it all feeds on itself. So, don't try. You don't have to try that hard. Just you have to be present to do it.
Well, that's what I mean by effort. You have to be there. You have to go places, be in activities. It used to be just you were at school. Not anymore.
No, and I mean, if you are shut in or something, there are online tools. It's harder, but you can still accomplish the same things. But just go volunteer for something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we talk about family vacations? They got teens who don't want to go.
Oh, wow.
So why don't you get suggestions from them, let them plan out the trip with supervision, of course.
Teens never want to go. Here's the thing. Teens appreciate it in 10 years. And so when you go, just accept that they're not going to appreciate it right now, but they will in 10 years. So don't be disappointed that they're not excited to see whatever. In 10 years, they'll be excited that they got to see it. This is one of these things that's called a delayed payoff. And you just have to accept right now that the payoff is delayed.
I like that.
So when they're a little mopey and you're just going to have to let it roll off, water off a duck's back. Don't let it bother you because the payoff is in 10 years.
They can't appreciate it at the moment.
No.
But they will.
They will.
They really will. I remember going the trips my mother used to take. We used to drive. She'd just meander. She'd just drive.
Yeah.
And we ended up across, the Ohio. Look, it's the Ohio River. We went to some we went to some glass blowing thing, just ran into it. I remember I was 13 and I was moping the entire time.
Yeah, of course you are. But, 10 years later, you still remember those things and you remember them fondly.
It's been 50 years and
but it didn't take 50 years, right?
No.
It takes
No,
about
no.
10.
Takes about 10 years.
Their mid-20s
Yeah.
is when it starts to kind of turn.
It really will. Yeah.
So
We'll start to appreciate
you
you.
do it anyway. The best way to do it is just with it. Don't expect the excitement that you want. It's not what they're here for. They're not for that immediate excitement, that immediate thrill that you get. I know you want that reinforcement that, hey, trust us. The reinforcement comes 10 years later that you've done the right thing. So make them go on that damn vacation. They'll like it anyway, just in 10 years. And actually, you can tell them that. Yeah, you'll appreciate this in 10 years. And they'll say, nah, yes, you will.
Yes, you will.
Yes, you will. And you don't have to, but you could come and tell me when that moment happens. It's not required, but you could.
Good.
Make some fun of it. Let them know that. Be open with them. Be honest with them. Keep that open and honest communication about why you're actually doing this. That you don't have to enjoy it at the moment. It's fine, but you are going to go. You're not going to make us crappy for everybody else, but you don't have to be happy. I'm not going to expect you to be happy about it, right? But you don't get to be. No, you can be Debbie Downer to a point, right? Yeah, I'll even let you be Debbie Downer to a point, but you don't get to be
abusive.
Yeah. There's a line there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lashing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Love asks us to be brave, not just with others, but with ourselves, to speak up, to listen, to hold space for discomfort, and to remember that your needs matter just as anyone else. For me and Lovey, have a good night, and please remember to love everybody.
Good night.
Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'll live. Okay. And welcome back to Late Tonight Love. Tonight we are stepping into the deep end. A young woman heading to law school while her boyfriend drifts. A partner who won't talk about a life-changing diagnosis. A boundary crossed while drunk. Sex that feels complicated, disconnected, or simply not good. A confusing STI test. And the question of whether substances change intimacy. How's that a question? These are the moments that force us to comfort who we are with others and who we are becoming. But before all of that, send us your questions, comments, suggestions to loveatlatenightLove.us. You can find past shows and etc., except for last week's, at latenightLove.us. Sorry, I didn't get to last week's. Yep. I haven't updated the website this week. Even though the live show's on, I did get that updated.
Ooh, good.
So you can still catch us live you can catch the live show, the last live show on latenightLove.us. You can catch the whole flipping thing there. So that's where we've got all started. Did I miss something? Oh, you can do us a favor and hit the like, subscribe, share buttons, things, do us all that good fun stuff for us. Okay, I think that's it. Did I cover everything? Did I miss something?
No, I think you got it.
Are we sure? Are we sure? Because I've got all kinds of stuff I can talk. Like I forgot to put all these things in.
Ooh.
I forgot to go through these, and I said that. So I got a couple of these things in. So there we go. Hey man, it's been a long week for me.
It's been a very long week.
Last week
was all about testing for 3 days.
Oh God. Well, in the last 10 days, my transmission blew up. My knee broke. So it's been a long 10 days.
It has.
All right. So anyway, it's been a long 10 days, and I'm trying not to be whiny about it.
I think you're doing very well.
So we're gonna try. Because I go. There's not every now and again I forget. Like my leg is just sitting here in this brace, and I try to move it. Oh yeah, that's right. Why does that feel so weird? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Hey man, I'm distracted. I'm trying to do a TV show here. All right, what's next?
All right. I'm going to law school, but my boyfriend plays video games all day and never went to college. How long is it fair to wait?
Okay.
Hun.
Does he not like have a normal job or something?
No.
Because I don't know. It never went to college. Doesn't mean anything. It's not relevant. It's just.
Well, she's thinking long term.
But that's still not relevant. If he could go out and get a job as an electrician apprentice today and be making more money than she is before she makes more money than she'll ever make in law as a lawyer than by the time she gets out of law school. Now, does he have the motivation to do that? Clearly not. But he could. He could go as a plumber's apprentice and in 3 years be making $100,000 a year. Now, he'd be working 10 hours a day as a plumber. But again, so the never went to college thing is not relevant in terms of
and lawyers don't do at least 60 hours a week.
And you don't make squat for 3 years.
I know.
So lawyers don't start making money till 5-6 years in, right?
Yeah.
So All righty. So, as we close tonight, remember this: you are allowed to want a life that feels fair, a love that feels steady, and a relationship that feels safe. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to ask for more, not because you're demanding, but because you're human. Thanks for spending your night with us. Take care of your heart, take care of your rest. And as always, have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.